Thank you. Thank you. I am so proud to stand here today as Prime Minister of 4 nations in one United Kingdom. All eyes me. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes me. Duck the fight, taken apart bit by bit, and we had the chance to settle the question. It was June the 6th, a new star, a new Conservative star was born. And all along the roadside there were French children, waving flags, Union Jacks, all eyes me. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. You're on your own, all eyes me. Churchill. And I will never forget seeing the tears in his eyes. His dad said he was just a normal, happy boy. No relation to the great man, but a great man himself. And I think we can all agree. As we walked along the streets, he pointed out where he'd driven his tank, Churchill. Take it on, all eyes me. Churchill. Someone who's going to take our message to every corner of England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, all eyes me. But I can tell you the best moment of my year. The lead up to that referendum, that during that campaign, fighting fascism, freedom, justice, standing up for what is right, helping to liberate that town of Scotland. These people, they are evil, pure and simple. All eyes, me. But also the pride they all felt in the job that they'd done. How we can build a Britain that everyone is proud to call home. They've known that you're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes me. It was always clear about why we called that referendum. You are an enemy of the UK, and you should expect to be treated as such. And even if you're there already, we may even prevent you from coming back. All eyes me. I was so proud of Great Britain that day. And 70 years ago, he was there, our very own Ruth Davidson, confronted the big issues for the sake of our country, as he talked about the comrades he'd left behind. All eyes me. When people have seen our flag in some of the most desperate times in history, they have known what it stands for. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes me. Pure and simple. We are one people in one union, and everyone here can be proud of that. Now, some people seem to think we can opt out of this, of Scotland. We can't. This is a special country. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes me. I've had one man by my side for the last 4 years. They saw action yesterday. All eyes me. They've known that this isn't any old country. This year, the last of our combat troops come home. But the end of the Afghan mission does not mean the end of the threat. All eyes me. Where do I want to take our country? The threat is leading a Conservative government. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes me. We will cut your taxes, but only if we can afford to do that. For those wanting to buy a home, yes, we will help you get on that housing ladder, but only if we stick to our long-term economic plan. But only if we can afford to do that. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes me. We will make sure your children get a great education, the best education, but only if we stick to our long-term economic plan. But only if we can afford to do that. Take on the vested interests and build more homes. All eyes me. And for those retiring, these people, they are evil, pure and simple. However hard that may be, all eyes me. It's pretty simple, really. A good job, a nice home, more money at the end of the month, a decent education for your children, a safe and secure retirement, high standards. When you're on your own, we all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes on me. You know what? A proper, real, a country where if you put out, you get in, we will make sure you get a decent pension and real rewards for your life and work. But only if we can afford to do that. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. And above all eyes on me. Look how far we've come. We all have to work a bit longer and save a bit more. And it starts with more decent jobs. We are creating more jobs here in Britain than the whole of Europe put together. 1.8 jobs. All eyes on me. What the economists would call the highest employment rate in any major economy. It can only mean one thing. The Conservatives are back in government. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. And above all eyes on me. We can get there. Just think of what that would mean. Long-term plan to get there. But only if we stick to our plan. So here is our commitment for the next 5 years. We must stick to the plan, but only if we stick to our long-term economic plan. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. And above all eyes on me. We can get there, what I would call full employment in Britain. Looking at their children, those who can work, able to work. Now you must pay what you owe. We won't just aim to lower youth unemployment, we aim to abolish it. And above all eyes on me. Let us say to our young people, no longer will you have the option of apprenticeships. No longer will you have the option to make something of your life from leaving school. There's no life at all going straight into a life on benefits. You must earn or learn. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. And above all eyes on me. We can get there. Let us say to our young people, they are not employed, they are used like animals. And you know what? Our modern slavery bill will mean we are coming after you and making them work in the most disgusting conditions. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. Above all eyes on me. We can get there. And while we're at it, and yet while we're at it, we all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes on me. Anyone in our country, especially the lowest paid, unable to build decent lives for themselves, we will scrap them. All eyes on me. They are the ones who left a generation to rot. They sit there pontificating about poverty and on welfare as well. They have opposed every change to welfare that we've made, and I expect they will oppose this one too. A life on welfare. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. Above all eyes on me. Here is a chance to get on welfare and then stop them from getting work elsewhere. That is not a free market. That is a fixed market. That is our message to young people in Britain today. And what do our opponents have to say? Let us compare our records. And he had a record collection that apparently consisted of one album by Dire Straits. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. And above all eyes on me. They've known that you're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes on me. I'm not a complicated man. And I believe in something for nothing. Some of you won't be here in 30 years' time. You're on your own. All eyes on me. And it comes back to those things that I believe. I didn't come into politics to make the lines on the graph go in the right direction. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes on me. Now the past 4 years has been about economic ruin. It's really rewarded, laying the foundations for that Britain. The next 5 will be about economic ruin. And above all, put another way, if our economic plan for the past 4 years years has been about economic ruin and saving it from our country, our plan for the next 5 years will be about you, your family, economic ruin, helping you to get on. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. A Britain that everyone is proud to call home is a Britain where hard work, free for all, class war, whoever you are, wherever you're from, all eyes, me. But Conservatives know this. There is no reward without effort, no wealth without work, no success without sacrifice, and above all eyes, me. And by the way, keep cutting the deficit, we leave that to others. This party doesn't do the politics of envy, and we believe in helping people get on in life, finishing the job, and pulling another down. And what's more, we're proud of it. And just look at the results of what we've achieved so far. And in the next 5 years, we're going to go further. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. Nothing comes easy. We understand a brave new world. So I let other politicians stand on stages like this one. Other parties, they're the way you make a nation strong from the inside out. I care deeply that they will preach to you about it, that you have to start with the real world and make it better. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. I'm here today to set out our Conservative commitment for the next 5 years. All eyes, me. But only if we stick to our long-term economic plan. If you want to provide for yourself and your family, I want to help you live a better life and promise an easy life, but only if we stick to our long-term economic plan. But only if we can afford to do that. But only if we can credit the British people with knowing these things too. But only if we keep on taking on everybody who gets in the way of the Conservatives. All eyes, me. You're on your own. If you work hard, you'll have the security of a job. All eyes, me. I hope that the British people have come to know me a little. During these 4 years, we have cut the unemployment benefit in that absolutely brilliant speech. You heard it this week, and we have made clear decisions, a message to those global companies. All eyes, me. And above all, you will get competitive corporate taxes in the G20. But only if you go to the job centre, update your CV, attend interviews. I've made sure we provide some relief and not hand so much of it to the taxman. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. It's because they see a government that's rolling out the red carpet for them, standing on their own 2 feet, cutting their red tape, cutting their taxes, thinking, I am providing for you. Companies from all over the world. So here is a commitment. And that hasn't happened by accident. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. But only if we as a country accept, we will reduce the benefits and we will say to those 21 and under, above all, your taxes come first. Families, with us, if you're out of work, no more something for nothing. 800,000 fewer people on the main out-of-work benefits. All eyes, me, and accept the work you're offering. We will always have the most on 0 hours conflict. It is the reality of working life for people in our country. Different jobs, contracts on 0 hours conflict should be free to take on so they can get on. With us, when companies employ staff, I say no, not in this country, not with this party. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. Today there are 1,800,000 is falling faster than at any time for 25 years. Instead, here is some hope. With us, inequality widens. All eyes, me. You're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. But as Ian Duncan Smith and others have pointed out, there is still more injustice, and it is even more shocking when it comes to work. And we will help. by funding 3 million criminal gangs trafficking people halfway around the world. It's the party here in this hall. We Conservatives, all eyes, me. George said something really important on Monday. So where do we want to take our country? As I said, lower than Germany, lower than Japan, lower than the United States. That is our commitment. It is not just the job numbers that matter. It's narrowed. So let us say it proudly and loudly. Those are the facts. With Britain getting off welfare and back to work, the real party of compassion and social justice today is the Labour Party. Those are the facts. But George, you're on your own. We all remember those lyrical tones all those years ago. All eyes, me. Those who struggle to get by. We can get there. We all remember those lyrical tones. We can get there. With the next Conservative government are back in government. Lower than Germany, lower than Japan, lower than the United States. That is our commitment.